The Sciforror Film Podcast. Hello and welcome to the Sciforror Film Podcast. I am Andy Walker and I welcome you unto this splurge. And I am here. I am here with my son, Scott. Hello, Scott.
Hello there. I love the fact that your automatic reaction to "I am here" is "I'm ham."
I'm ham here.
I'm ham here. You obviously you'd be here because
I think, therefore I am. I'm pink, therefore I'm spam. I'm zinc, therefore I'm a pram.
You've been reading Dr. Zoot again.
Yeah. That's green eggs and ham. Sam, I am. Anyway, hello, Scott. How are you?
Hello there. I have noticed what you mean though. So now we've actually started recording. I've actually had a chance. What you mean about the fact I look like I've got a teacup in my head?
It does look a bit weird.
No, I think it's my hair underneath because I've got my hair tied up underneath.
It's a bit
Lopsided, like me.
It's a bit Fifi in her flower tops.
It's not Fifi in her flower. Because if I take it, the problem is now that if I take it off because of now we may be paranoid, my hair's going to look like I've been electrocuted.
So shave it off like me.
I've done most of it.
Anyway, right. So we're here to review films.
Are we? Okay, yes.
Well, that's allegedly why we do this.
Allegedly why we do it, even
allegedly.
Yeah.
I have it on good authority that that's the reason we're supposed to be here.
What, in existence or just here doing this?
Yeah, our sole purpose in life is to review films on YouTube. There's no other reason for us to exist.
Just because someone invented YouTube then, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, you know, it helps. Any road up. On this week's show, we are doing 2 short films and a longer film like we do normally, that kind of thing. We're going to start off with a short film. This is a film from 2022 called Night Spiral. It's apparently by Bucket Naught Films. Bucket Naught. That's great. I love that. This is the company's first CGI short film. And the cast is Marley Carpenter. And on YouTube, it doesn't give you a lot of other details, really.
No.
Other than that. The synopsis for this film says, in the aftermath of a terrible accident, a lone technician drifts far beyond any hope of rescue, with only the comfort of a voice on the radio. And it's not Terry Wogan or Chris Evans or any other DJ.
They're the only 2 you know.
No, I just thought I could be here for hours listing DJs otherwise. So, it's their first CGI film, and to be honest, I'm quite surprised it's their first CGI film because I thought the effects were really good.
Yeah,
I think they were really well done.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's just again, I keep reading the synopsis after I watched the film. I need to stop doing that. But I was really surprised by it actually when I read that, the fact that this is the first one they've done, because I've seen a lot of films where they do CGI quite expensively and quite a lot, and you look at it and go, well, that's awful. But this looks amazing, and it's not even just the shots from outside; the shots when they're inside, and it's her the face, you can see it's there, and then like the sort of galaxies and everything in the background. I thought it was very well done.
Yeah, yeah, the whole thing's really well. I really like this. I think it's a really good idea. It's well acted, well made, well written. The effects are really good. It's not the most uplifting of films.
No, no, it's not. It's not one to watch. I will say it's a very good film, but it's not one to watch if you're already in a weird mood.
um, I really like it. I love the. I mean, the whole thing is based around the relationship between the woman in the capsule and the voice on the radio.
Yeah,
And I really like the way that that works. The dynamics of that relationship work really well.
yeah.
Um,
I agree with you. You can sort of, even though it's only like a couple of minute long film, you can sort of tell that they're learning more about each other while trying to keep each other comforted.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I really like it. I think it's very well done. It's another thing as well though. This sort of I almost it's a very odd film for me because of the fact that I get to that point where I don't show I don't sort of show emotional or get emotional a lot with a lot of films. But
mm,
this it did sort of get a lump in my throat when you can hear her doing the monologue and she's doing that to herself, thinking that she's talking to someone,
mm,
and then she's like, it's all quiet, and then she goes, "Are you there?" And there's no reply, and you're like, "Oh, okay."
yeah,
And it's sort of that sort of she is now like there's no one there with her,
yeah.
and it's sort of caught that lump in my throat, and I'm like, that's a lot to take in to know
Yeah.
that you could be alone.
It's it's an interesting thing as well because it's got the kind of the technology and all that kind of thing of a sci-fi film. And but what I like about it is it's also got the thing that I like in sci-fi films where they concentrate on the personalities um the people involved, not
Yeah,
just the technology and the science
yeah,
element.
it's definitely one that it's got. Like you said, like the sci-fi's have either go like one of three ways. There's not either not enough, too much, or it's just right. And I think this is just perfect right amount of it, and it's got such a great story onto it as well.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's really good. It's a really well made film, and I think it works incredibly well. Um, so it's definitely worth a squint, as it were.
Win.
Squint. Yeah. The second of our films is a horror film from 2021. It's Hit Start Films, and it's called B-Side. There's not really any information about this on YouTube either, really, about who made it, why, how, or anything. I get the feeling this was possibly one that was made during lockdown because it's got a minimal
Yeah, it's really only one person.
cast and crew, yeah, that kind of thing. The synopsis for this says, one night a young man finds a mysterious package in his mailbox. As he investigates the contents, he finds something disturbing. It's an interesting idea.
Yeah,
I can see some people, especially younger viewers,
yeah,
not really understanding the whole cassette thing and what the hell a B-side is.
yeah. I've got to admit, I did sit there and watch it, and I got to the end of it. Really, there was another bit of it that sort of let me down, but I did sit at the end of it and went, "Well, that's definitely for a target audience."
Yeah,
Because saying I'm 30 or I'm 31, I know about them. Anyone sort of younger, really, not going to understand really what a B side is for a start, like you said, or mainly the fact that that's what a cassette is.
yeah,
Probably going to look at it and go, "Oh, it's obviously an ancient device that's been possessed."
it's very strange. I mean, it's not bad. And it's a good film and it's well made, but it didn't really do a lot for me. It didn't wow me or kind of make me go, "Oh, that was really good."
I liked it apart from the end. So the effect that they used on the figure in the picture turning round, I
Yeah,
thought was amazing.
yes,
The bit that let it down was the figure at the end and the mask.
yeah, okay, yeah, no, I get you there. Yeah,
But
it's
it's a very, it's again, no, it's a it's getting to the point like with a lot of sci-fi and horror films, it's very hard to make a unique idea.
Yeah,
And this is one saying I've seen go loads of times where like you go into a fight, it's stuff that's been told and it's a ghost story that gets passed on and passed on and
yeah.
passed.
You've seen it in one form or another loads of
Yeah,
times, different
but
ways.
again, this is a unique way of doing it. I think that obviously if it had a bit more of a like if it was made during lockdown, I can understand it sort of being a bit harder to have to the people there or the time and to be able to have the sort of the resources as well. If it's and get like say a reasonable mask or the makeup effects or something like that. But other than that, I think it's a very good film. I think it's just if it had been made say even a year before or even this year, it probably would have done a lot better.
Yeah, yeah. No, I get what you're saying. It just kind of the end of it. I mean, yeah, I understand what you're saying, and the bit where the figure turns around on the picture, it's really good. But on the whole, it didn't really do it for me.
Mm.
It was okay, but yeah, that's about it.
First time in ages, I think we've actually sort of disagreed on
Oh
something.
well, yeah. Right. Well, this may be an interesting one for us to our next one. The next film is a British film from 1982, and it's a film called Xtro. Uh, yes. The director, who was also one of the writers, was Harry Bromley Davenport, who also made Whispers of Fear in 1976, Xtro 2, The Second Encounter in 1991, and Xtro 3, Watch the Skies in 1995. The other writers are Ian Cassie, who I can find nothing that he did of this, and Michael Parry, who did some shorts and TV stuff in the 60s and the 80s, and wrote of was to do with the writing of a film called The Uncanny in 1977. The Uncanny, I've mentioned before on here, is an anthology film all about how horrible cats are. So worth watching. It's quite good. But there you go. The cast. We have Philip Sayer, who did some TV and shorts in the 80s and was in the film The Hunger in 1983. And that's it. Bernie Steggers, who did some TV and shorts in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2010s, and was in a film in 1980 called Macabre. That's it. We got Danny Brading, did TV and shorts in the 80s and was in a film called The American Way in 1986. And that's it. And Mariam Darbo did some TVs and shorts in the 80s, 90s, 2000, 2010s, and was in Immortal Sins in 1991, Stalked in 1994, Time Lock 1996, Evil Remains in 2004, a film which I suppose is Horror Dorian Gray in 2009, and Last Words in 2020. Yeah. Simon Nash. Simon Nash, the only thing I got for him was Brazil in 1985. Really?
Yeah, none of them really seem to do that much.
Peter Mandel did some TV and shorts work in the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. He was also in Star Wars The Return of the Jedi in 1983, Labyrinth in 1986, and Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone in 2001, but he was uncredited in that.
Yeah.
Now, there were a few other people in it, but I didn't bother going much further than that, to be honest, because they even do even less stuff. The only thing I would say is that in this film are two people who used to perform as a mime and music duo doing electronic music and robotic dancing in the 80s called Tick and Tock. And I remember seeing them on TV when I was a kid. And they were weird, to say the least.
That
Okay.
sounded like coming from you.
The synopsis for this film says an alien creature impregnates a woman who gives birth to a man who was abducted by aliens 3 years ago. The man reconnects with his wife and son for a sinister purpose. Now, I would say before we get any further, that I think the term "gives birth to" is a little bit of a misnomer in that synopsis, because she doesn't so much give birth to him as he splits her in half as he climbs out of her body.
Yeah,
It's a little bit of a difference.
I think. Yeah, but I think "give birth to" is probably better to write down as the overview than splits a woman in half and splits out of her.
Yeah, but
I,
so this, I get the feeling from what you were saying, you are not a big fan of this.
oh no, no, no! Don't get it twisted. I am seriously not a big fan of this.
Ah,
It's just I use this word. I don't use this a lot when we're doing this, but it is absolute garbage.
okay,
I know. It just. I don't get me wrong. I get the fact it's an 80s film and there's a lot of stuff in it, and the fact that it's a British horror film.
yeah,
I I'm sort of a bit biased about that because I'm like, okay, it's British, maybe it's going to be better. It's just, there is just. I think it's just over the top with everything, and the fact that a lot of it was so confusing about what on earth was going on.
okay,
Like, I just don't know. And the bits of it that did make me laugh though, as you've just pointed out and said about when she gives birth to the man that returns, and he looks like he's eating her from the inside out.
yeah, but
It's it's very obvious the fact that he's not because of the fact he takes a bite of it, it splits in his mouth, and then he turns and spits it out,
yeah,
which is all caught on camera. But it's just I don't know. For me. I think the problem is that it's very British.
well, it is quite British. Yeah, I know what you mean, but I don't think it's as British as the one we watched with oh God, I can't remember what it was called now. The one that had thingy in it, the American actor in it.
Oh, that helps
Oh, you know what I mean.
probably, but
Um, but no, the thing is, I'm going to say this is a bizarre film. It is
yeah,
from beginning to end. It is bizarre.
yes,
Um, but
okay.
but and maybe possibly because it is so bizarre, I really like it.
See, don't get me wrong. I like bizarre things. Like anyone that's listened to this that knows me personally and everything like that, knows that I am very, very into weird and wonderful stuff. But this, I think, because of the fact that it's for me, it just felt like everything was all over the place. There was a little bit of a story that was going through it. It just seemed all over the place, and it's just like
Yeah, but
very confused.
I,
And
I kind of
it
like
what annoyed me even more, and I know this is just me being picky, but the fact that the the mum who's played by the mum Rachel, yeah, who's
yeah,
got a very I wouldn't say very, but a posh accent
yeah,
for English, and the dad has also got a reasonably well spoken English accent.
yeah,
To then go to the son, who sounds like he's from the East End of London,
yeah. Okay.
and it's just like I get the fact that people pick up their accents depending on where they live, but that dramatically,
Yeah,
especially as they'd
no, I
only
know what you
really
mean.
been living in London for 3 years, according to what they said.
I just, I don't know. There's something about it, and I think it's because it is so bizarre, so weird. It's like I just sat watching it with my eyes wide open and my mouth open, thinking, "What the hell is going on?" I love it.
Yeah,
Um,
it was a bit
and
hard
some,
to tell as well the fact that him as the alien. I don't know, unless you actually hear, like I had my headphones turned up quite well because I was listening to it to get a
yeah,
proper feel, and it's very slight, but there's part of it where he's sniffing the gas,
yeah,
and it's only very slight if you see him. But if I then realised that I went back and watched it and turned my volume down a bit, and all he does is look like he's just sniffing a bit of metal.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
But it's just I get what you're saying. It is bizarre and it's on the verge of oddly bizarre so much that it is really good. But it's just I think it's just there was so much going on and
I mean, some of the effects are a bit naffish, but I think it's more to do with the age of the film,
yeah.
and it didn't have the highest budget. It wasn't
No, it
hugely high budget.
well the thing is that I think we found from a lot of these 80s films that not a lot of them did.
I just,
But
I mean, I love that. I love the fact that there's these things that turn up for no really adequately explained reason, like the midget clown and the panther, and do you know what I mean? It's just
well,
kind of
I think the clown's from meant to be the from his toy.
yeah, yeah, I know, but it's just kind of like it's just kind of it's not
But
really explained
no, it's
why
not.
the
It's just he
ends up
appears, and the
being
fact that
there.
it's there the whole time.
Yeah,
It's not like he's the boy's imagination because of the powers that he's got or the changes going on.
it's it's just kind of yeah.
I
The
would
end of
say
it
as
was
well, and this is just me being me,
yeah.
mainly because I'm a different generation. But if I went to go and meet a girl that I was in a relationship with, and she disappeared for the amount of time that she did, I would not just be sitting there having a fag,
Well, yeah, I know what you mean.
or be that sort of I don't know understanding when he found her afterwards either.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah. No, no, I know. I
don't get me
mean, there
wrong.
are
There were
some
certain shots of it and certain bits I thought were very well done. It's just so bizarre.
yeah, but I just love it. Now, I will also say I have no idea. I really like this film, and I loved watching it because it was just completely it was completely batshit crazy, which is something I really love.
Yeah,
But I have no idea how the hell they managed to make sequels to it. You said you found four. I found six
yeah. And the thing is,
altogether.
what I looked at as well, there's no there's no sort of recurring characters.
No, there's no
It's not
connection
like
between them
even
at all. It's just
yeah, it's not like if you even the dad and the son from the first film come back, or there's any description of like what's left behind or anything like that. It just seems like it's just called the same name and just carried on with the franchise.
yeah, they're completely different films, just with the same name. But the thing is that only the first two of them had a cinema release. All of the others went straight to video, which kind of tells you something, I think. Um,
Yeah,
but I don't know. This is one of those films. I think I would put this on a list of films that I would like to sit down and watch with a certain group of people. There are certain friends of mine that I would like to sit down and watch this with and just say, you will not believe this film. If you've never seen it before, you will not believe this film, and you just have to watch it. Because if I describe it to you, you either won't believe me or won't understand.
okay, sorry. I was looking up Xtro,
Yeah.
and I've just looked up Xtro 4.
Right.
And by the looks of it, the name changed, or at least had something to do with it. And it's the producer. Okay, that's right. That's something else. I will talk to you about that afterwards because that I want to watch.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it's just I don't know. There's something about this film. Because the thing is, it's one of them films that I've looked at, I've watched, and I've like if it's really awful or even as bizarre as I think it is, I normally sort of, I can sit afterwards and go, all right, fine, I'll forget about it. But all I do is keep thinking about this film. To go, what on earth was going on?
Well, I mean, the fact that it took three of them to write it was quite intriguing. Um,
Yeah.
and it
Took three of them to write it, and one of them's done nothing since.
yeah. But it kind of and I don't know. I mean, I find it very difficult. I mean, the synopsis does not explain this film.
No, well, the thing is that
Really.
even the one on sort of IMDb doesn't really do a lot. It just like it's the same thing, but it's like even like the Google one just really just sort of says a family man. has been missing for 3 years when he suddenly returned home for his son and wife. His son has clung to hopes of his return, and his mother have moved on and involved with another man.
Yeah, I mean that doesn't really
But that's
explain
got
it at
nothing
all.
to do with what goes about wrong as part of the film. That's nothing to do with the fact it's a sci-fi film. It's just like,
I mean, and it's interesting because you don't really see. I mean, the interesting thing for me is the alien when you first see it
yeah,
is basically it's a bloke playing crab football with a mask on upside down. So,
yeah.
but it's an interesting film in a lot of ways, and I'm quite happy that I watched it, and I'm quite happy to watch it again with the right people.
My bit that's confusing me, and I think this is the bit that confuses me more, and I think that's the bit that's annoying me, is that Sam returns home to get his son.
Right.
What the hell is that got to do with the eggs that were laid?
Well,
And why did they leave them behind?
well, I'm assuming that it was the start of a full blown invasion, and that when the eggs split, it
Yeah.
impregnated her in the same way as the first alien impregnated the other woman with the bloke who came back. So I'm assuming that the cycle carries on.
Well, the fact that they seem to have made 6 films in this, I'm suggesting something carries on. Whether or not
Something
it's someone's
carries on.
sanity,
Something carries on. I have no idea what, but
no.
but I
'Cause
mean, the guy who made this one was only involved in the second and third one.
maybe you think he got to the end of the third one and went, enough. Now,
Yeah, yeah. Please, enough.
enough. I'm done. Enough.
But yeah, it's I don't know. I find it really difficult not to like it. It's
Yeah, it's
and I think the reason I like it is because it is so odd, it's so strange and bizarre and so weird. And it is very British, I think, because of the fact that I don't think that a film like this would be made anywhere else. Because I
I don't
don't
think
think
anyone. No, because
anybody else has that same kind of bizarreness in their heads.
yeah, there's
And
I think that's my point. Is the fact that it is very British. Because I know we keep getting. A lot of people get told the British people have a dry sense of humour and a bit of a weird, twisted sort of mentality. And I think the fact that bearing in mind the other films we've watched from the 80s that have been from America and Canada and places that we've watched all over the place, and yet the weirdest one we've watched so far is one that's come from England.
I know, yeah, and it's true. I mean, it's yeah, I think it is a very British film in as much as it is just absolutely bizarre and brilliant at the same time, as far as I'm concerned, anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
My God, that's two films that we don't necessarily completely agree on. What's going on?
Oh no, we both agreed it is bizarre. It's just the fact it's bizarre enough for you to like it and me to get absolutely confused and disorientated.
Yeah, I just I love bizarre things. I mean, I mean, it's yeah. Anybody who knows my love of Quentin Dupieux should realise that I
Yes.
like bizarre things. Um, so there you go. So anyway, yes, that's the thing. That's the show. So we had three films. I've forgotten what I'm saying now. We had three films, and all of them are non-existent anymore. What are you talking about?
I don't know.
What are you on? We had
I'm sitting on a chair.
Night Spiral. Yes, Night Spiral, which we both really liked. We had B side, which I didn't
Yeah.
get, so you quite liked it. And then we had Xtro, which I thought was absolutely fantastically brilliant, and you thought was
Garbage.
garbage.
This is saying a lot. I'm saying this is absolutely saying a lot. Bearing in mind the absolute ribbing and slating I did of Humanoids of the Deep.
But the thing is, It's not as bad as Humanoids of the Deep or Starship
Oh no, it's
Invasion.
nowhere near as close to being as bad as Starship Invasion, but it's tolerable. But I don't know. This is another point where I wish I could have met the people who created it. Just sat with them for 10 minutes. Even 5 would have done. Just to sort of sit there and go, "You're
Why?
mentally unstable, mate. You are seriously mentally unstable." And that's saying a lot coming from me.
No, but everybody out there, it's worth having a watch of these films because of the fact that you might disagree with what we say. We disagree with what we say, so that's anyway. So go and have a
You're
watch.
really going to subject people to watching Xtro and all the
Yeah,
other
go
rubbish films.
go and have a watch and let me know what you think and let us know whether or not you think what we're saying is true, false. No, not true or false. Whether it's whether you agree or not. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore.
I think what he's trying to say is go and watch the film and let us know whether or not you agree with us or think that you agree with one of us or none of us or whatever. Just let us know your opinion. I think
But
that's what he's trying to say
bloody
anyway.
hell, it comes to something when you talk more sense than I do.
I've had a lot of phone calls today where I've had to use my brain and think.
Oh,
For
careful about
God's
that.
sake. As I just pointed out, the fact that my brain's just switched off halfway through that sentence.
Yes. Right. We will be back again next week.
Yes.
2 more short films and another feature film. This time one I think that we both agree on.
Oh, yes.
And we've only got 2 more normal episodes before we get to the Christmas special. And the Christmas special is very special.
Again, it's saying a lot, bearing in mind the stuff that we've watched already.
Oh, no.
I know what the films are for the Christmas special, and even that's saying a lot for the fact.
So until we return from the depths of the depths of the desert of
Tatooine.
Rackenbush, and we spatter ourselves again across your earlugs and
They like
earlugs.
little boots you put in your ears.
No, earlugs.
Oh, I thought you said ear rugs.
No, earlugs.
I need to go to bed.
And then we will invade your brain with nonsense and reviews. In the meanwhile, during the meanwhile, we will be doing other things, and other things will be doing us. Until then, remember, don't forget.
And if
We'll
you
see you
do
later.
forget, remember you're a womble.
What if you're not?
Then you've forgotten.
I forgot once.
You forgot once.
Yeah. I don't know what it was I forgot, but I forgot once. So until then, and then is now, and now is then, and then is up, and down is forwards. We will be gone. Begonia. We will begonia. And
Begonias.
we will begonia and limited time offer. What? Who knows? And anyway, always be kind to badgers. And we will see you. You will see us. They will see them. And keep watching the skies.
Badgers will rule the world.
Till next time. This time. Bye.
Bye.
The Sciforror Film Podcast.